Hello and welcome to The Rabbit Hole, the Definitive Developers Podcast, living large in New York. I'm your host, Michael Nunez, and today we'll be talking about the daily stand-up. Do it quick, do it fast, get your stand-ups out there. I'm going to try to make this episode as fast as a stand-up so that it's kind of meta to ensure that individuals understand the purpose of a stand-up, how to do a stand-up, and tips to remember to keep the stand-up as it's supposed to run. So, diving right in. What is stand-up? Stand-up is a time where you bring up 3 questions. What you did yesterday, what you're planning to do today, and if there are any blockers. And that is it. And whether there are parking lots, that's a modifier to a stand-up. Yesterday, I worked on X. Today, I will continue working on X. And I have a blocker about how X is implemented in a different system. Boom. That's it. It should not be long. If you have stand-ups that are, longer than the episode time, you have an issue. Have people listen to this episode. It's also referred to as the Daily Scrum, a huddle, or a roll call. But for me, it's a daily stand-up where you simply talk about those things. One of the pitfalls you may run into is that it becomes a status meeting. You have to open up your Trello or your Jira and see the swim lanes to talk about the stories. If you're doing that, it's not a stand-up. It is a status meeting. So please be mindful of the wording used on that particular meeting, if you will. I often forget whether I'm, rambling on about what I did for stand-up. So sometimes a tip that I have that I want to share with folks, simply just type it out. While you're joining the meeting and people are getting used to or waiting for other folks, you could take that time to open up Notepad or VS Code, Command-Shift-N, new file, and just type it out and then read it. And then if you have any parking lots, you do that. A parking lot is a way to ensure that there are other conversations that you would like other people to hang around in, but that isn't required in the stand-up, right? So if a product manager and a particular developer want to talk, you have them collaborate after stand-up. The product manager is not asking questions within stand-up because it's simply what you did yesterday, what you're doing today, and if there are any blockers. So please be mindful when having stand-up and you enjoy the rest of your day.
Follow us now on Twitter at Radio Free Rabbit so we can keep the conversation going. Like what you hear? Give us a 5-star review and help developers just like you find their way into the rabbit hole. And never miss an episode. Subscribe now however you listen to your favorite podcast. On behalf of our producer extraordinaire, William Jeffries, and my amazing co-host, Dave Anderson, and me, your host, Michael Nunez, thanks for listening to The Rabbit Hole.